Welcome, Flavor Crew. Thank you for joining me today. And if you're new here, thanks for stopping by and watching. Today, what I wanted to do is a hack on how to take a box of store-bought stuffing and make it taste homemade. You won't believe how simple it is. So I don't know if you're the one that's supposed to make the stuffing this year, or if you just like stuffing in general. Now, I'm not saying that homemade stuffing isn't the bomb. It is, believe me. But if you can take a box of store-bought stuffing and make it taste homemade, it's fantastic. I've been doing this now for years and years, and when I tell people that it's not homemade, they are so surprised. And there's only 2 extra ingredients that you're going to need to do. It's amazing. So normally on this box of stuffing, there's only 2 ingredients. It's 1.5 cups of water and 1/4 of a cup of butter or margarine, whatever one you like. Some people grew up with butter, some people grew up with margarine. Either's fine. What we're going to do is we're going to put that in this this cup of water, and we're going to microwave that. But first, the secret ingredients to make the hack work is a medium onion. I like yellow or white, but I wouldn't use red. Now, if all you have is red, go for it. But a medium onion, and then some fresh sage. Now, my sage didn't do great this year, so this is all I got left, but it's gonna work. And if you don't have fresh sage, that's okay. You can use dried sage. If you are going to use dried sage, I'd say use about a tablespoon. All right, so let's start with getting this onion cut up. And then while the onion's sauteing, we'll put the butter in the water in the microwave. Take the ends off of both sides of the onion. It's easier to cut that way. And I normally cut it in half just to make it easier for me. And then I'll peel it. Now, if you have a way that you like to peel an onion that you think is simpler, why don't you put that down in the comments? Because I would love to know of an easier way. We're really just going to dice up the onion. Sometimes you need to kind of turn it over to keep going. Now, when it comes to the sage, you're not going to put that in immediately with the onions. You're going to do it after the onions have turned translucent. Because you don't want to burn your sage, but you don't want it to be bitter either, so you do want it to get cooked. So I'm just turning the sage so I can cut it. This probably is not the best knife to use for that, but that's okay. What I got, you're going to make do. Okay, you don't really want it to be strand. You want it to be tiny little pieces of sage. Oh, it smells so good. I love the smell of sage. Now, like I said, if you don't have fresh sage, don't worry. It's fine to use the dry. The fresh sage just gives it that little bit extra homemade flavor. Okay. I think that's good. Sage. All right. So now what you want to do is take your butter or your margarine, just scoop it in the water. Again, this was 1/4 of a cup of margarine and just 1.5 cups of water. This doesn't have to be perfect. So now we're going to go over to the microwave. We're going to put this in the microwave for 3 minutes. If you know your microwave will boil water faster than that, then do whatever that is for you. But for me, it'll be about 3 minutes. And while that is in the microwave, We're going to saute this onions and the sage. Turn on your burner. Normally what I do is I like to add a little bit of butter for the saute or margarine. It's probably about a tablespoon. Let that start to melt a little bit. We'll just add those onions in there. Like I said, you don't want to do the sage immediately because we don't want it to burn. Normally, once this heats up, it'll take about 2 to 3 minutes. And what we want is for these onions to go from this white color to translucent, where you can see through them. Now, on the onions, once they do get translucent, if they get a little bit of brown, that's fine. That's flavor, and that's good. And you don't want them burnt. So if you get them all the way to translucent, you're ready to get all the things mixed together, that's fine. Sometimes I'll let it get a little bit of brown to it, just because I like that extra flavor. But you don't want to burn. So what do you think your favorite thing is to do or make? Oh, microwave. Should be boiled. Let's see. Oh yeah, we're good. I'm taking the water out. It's pretty much, the butter has, I keep saying butter, but I use margarine. It has melted, and that's what we want. The onions are starting to change. You can tell by the coloring. It's starting to get a little translucent, but some of them are still pretty raw. So we'll keep going a little bit more. But like I was saying, what is your favorite side dish for the holidays? Is it stuffing? I know everyone's different. They have different sides. I know some people have like macaroni and cheese, which I've never gone to a Thanksgiving or a holiday meal that had macaroni and cheese, but I hear it's popular. And I love mac and cheese. But I don't think anything beats turkey and mashed potatoes with stuffing and gravy. That's like my favorite. So these are starting to look pretty good. So at this point, we don't have any brown, but that's okay. I'm going to add the sage, which is going to start getting pretty fragrant, easy for me to say. And I love that smell of fresh sage and onions. It smells so good. It'd be great if we had smell-o-vision and we could actually smell this. Now, if I would have had more sage, fresh sage, I definitely would have used more than what I had. But like I said, my sage didn't do really well this year, and I didn't have very much left. Now, I could definitely add some dried sage, but I think we're okay. Okay, so what I would do from here is the onions look great. They're translucent. The sage has got some heat on it. I can smell it. It smells fantastic. I'm going to turn off the burner, and I'm going to add the water and the butter to the pan. Just pour it in carefully. And then I'm just going to scrape the bottom just a little bit. Okay, and we're going to take it over. Normally, I would just do this whole process at the stove so that you're not carrying water across. But now, this is the easy part. Just going to open the box of stuffing. Now, previously, the stuffing would have been separate. It had the bread and the seasoning separate. Now, if for some reason you get one that is that way, I would pour the seasoning into your onions and water here and have it all mixed together before blending it. But now they just do it in one. So going to do, we're pouring it in the bowl.
Let's put that on it.
And then you're going to carefully take your water mixture and you're going to pour it in the bowl. And the reason I mixed it all together is I wanted the flavors to be more blended. Okay, that's great. And that right now. Now, you want to make sure all the bread is slightly moist, which is pretty quick. It'll do that. And then you want to stop mixing it. You want to wait for about a minute, and then you're going to fluff it. Now, if you're going to put it in the bird and cook it that way, you might want to wait 4 or 5 minutes so it's cool. You don't want to burn your hands trying to stuff the bird. Now, if you're one of those people that don't like to put your stuffing into the bird to cook it, then you would call it dressing, I guess. But if you like to do it that way, what I would suggest is don't use the water. Don't use 1.5 cups of water to cook it. Use 1.5 cups of either chicken stock or chicken broth. That's going to add more flavor. When you stuff it in the bird, you're going to get juices from the bird going in, and that's, where you're going to get that extra flavor. But if it's not going in the bird, I would use corn broth, chicken broth, or chicken stock. Okay, I think it's been enough time to just kind of fluff it up. And then you will let it cool off, because this is going in the bird. This is what it looks like, and it smells absolutely fantastic. Nice and fluffy. Let me know down in the comments if you're going to try this hack and how it worked for you. And we'll see you next time on The Flavor Curve.